Hey you guys, Keeling86 here. Now, let's do a little movie review. Well, there's no spoilers here, but there's no spoilers here, but overall I want to tell you guys exactly something. As you guys know, HBO Max has uploaded Godzilla vs. Kong, but I was fortunate enough to see it at the theaters from where I lived. Now, guys, I don't want to reveal any more no spoilers here, but the movie was incredible. Come on, look at this, Godzilla vs. Kong. The title says it all. I mean, we actually seen the rematch of the century. I mean, come on, you guys. Look at 1963, King Kong versus Godzilla, and yes, I have the whole collection of the Godzilla franchises from the original all the way to the very end of 2004, Godzilla Final Wars, as you guys can see on the title. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about King Kong vs. Godzilla. As you guys know, King Kong vs. Godzilla came out in 1963, which is 58 years in the making right there, guys. It was supposed to be out last year, but due to the pandemic, all the movies have been pushed to 2021, and there are still some films that are being pushed to 2022. But enough about that. Let's talk about this movie. King Kong vs. Godzilla was a movie masterpiece and one of the greatest ideas in movie history. Seeing an American monster, well, although, yeah, he was from the jungle, but you know what I mean. An American monster against a Japanese monster. And as you guys may have seen in the movie, if you've seen the original King Kong was actually small. Like, smaller than I would say, like a trailer. Or longer than a trailer, I would say. But in this, so it wouldn't be a fair fight, so they decided to make a rubber suit and beef him up into Godzilla's size. Now, this movie was amazing, but as you guys may have known, we did not see a winner. If you've seen the movie, you kind of see that there was no winner, of course. But because it's been like a long time since we've seen these two monsters come together. Now, believe it or not, guys, there's a website of unfinished and movies of Godzilla that haven't been made, or they were about to make it, but they canceled it. In the 90s, they were actually going to make another King Kong vs. Godzilla remake, but it was wasted, so they decided to make another movie, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, I would believe. That was the next film that they did back in the 90s. But as you know, Japan has been making new movies of Godzilla since the 90s, and they became an instant hit. And after finding out that Godzilla was going to die in Godzilla vs. Destroya, and they actually had news, and there was a paper actually said it about that. That became a big hit, and also the Americans wanted to see that, but you can only see it in dubbed version. So they had to wait until like HBO, Showtime, and guys, if you guys are wondering what I'm saying, those were classic movie channels on the TV before we had everything else. But enough about that. I bet you guys are wondering about the post-credits scenes. Now, guys, if you've seen Kong Skull Island, I'm sure you know that the post-credits scenes, Monarch shows cave paintings of Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, and the final piece of the puzzle, Godzilla was fighting King Ghidorah. And as you guys know, in Godzilla King of the Monsters, they actually made the movie where Godzilla fought King Ghidorah. And in the post-credits scenes, if you've seen the middle part, we've seen how what is a king to a god. And then we see a cave painting where King Kong fought Godzilla. And everyone was stoked on that, knowing the fact that we might see these two monsters, two classic monsters. Well, King Kong came out first in the 1930s, and Godzilla came out in the 1950s. So it was really amazing knowing the fact that these two monsters would come back together again. But in the post-credits scene, we've seen how one of the villains in Godzilla King of the Monsters, they fished out King Ghidorah's head, and I guess I have a feeling that maybe Apex was the one who bought the skull of King Ghidorah from them, or is that the same company that found it? But either way, I'm getting ahead of myself. Now, I actually was surprised that there was no post-credit scenes in Godzilla vs. Kong, because here's the real reason why they didn't have a post-credit scene. Now, the reason why they didn't have it is because they felt like this movie was not gonna live up to the hype as it originally was. like all the other films. But since Godzilla vs. Kong came out, it's actually making a lot of money right now, and a lot of people are seeing it in theaters, and it's now a hit. So that should be enough to get them make another film. Now, if you guys want to know the post-credit scene, here it is. In the post-credit scenes, it's supposed to be we're supposed to see a glimpse of space, and supposedly there's some space aliens that look like humans are coming to Earth. So that kind of tells me right there, guys, that the next movie that we might see Godzilla fighting intergalactic monsters. Now, there are some intergalactic monsters out there. There's, Megalon was actually a subterranean monster from another world. Well, from underground, actually, like mole people. But the other intergalactic film monsters that are out there, there's Gigan. I'm sure you guys remember Gigan. He's the monster. He's the kaiju with the chainsaw on his stomach. But there are a lot of other aliens out there that actually can control like anything. Last time there was an alien pod. If you remember the movie Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster, the aliens actually, there was an alien pod that fell into pollution and it became Hedera, which is a giant blob made of pollution, and it would pollute the whole world. Which, as you guys may have known, that movie became one of the worst films ever made because of the fact that, come on, imagine seeing an alien transform into a polluted monster, like a disgusting blob. It's like looking at a piece of shit walking around. But overall, guys, but here's the thing: King Ghidorah was actually an intergalactic monster, but as we see it, frozen in time. So, I think Gigan might be the one that we might see, or there might be other intergalactic monsters that we haven't seen yet. But maybe I'll do a video on that next time, so you guys will get the idea of what I'm talking about. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed the post-credit scene reveal, which was supposed to be, but you'll never know. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more reaction and gameplay. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget, stay positive, guys.